Hello, welcome to Beer Can Bushcraft. 5 knives that make me happy. Mad Dog Survival was tagged by Kukeli Bushcraft, and he did a 5 knives that make me happy. And I sort of thought, oh, I'd quite like to do that. So here we go. I'm going to give it a go. First of all, this little knife here is a particularly little knife that makes me very happy. This is a John Petty and Sons stainless steel penknife, and it was given to me by my granddad in about 1963. Tips broken off as normal. It's been badly sharpened. I mean, I've sharpened this as a kid loads of times. It's not sharp now, really. It's not. It wouldn't sharpen a pencil. Let's put it that way. It's been a bit hammered. But as I say, I carried it for a long time. Up until 1973, it's been in a pencil case and a pocket wallet. It's been in a little survival kit and all the rest of it. I mean, has been my penknife that I've used. So it's an important little knife for me. That actually, because it's seen a lot of action. It's probably comes from the 1930s, late 20s or something like that. I don't know. Is it worth some money? Might be. Doubt it. This one is my granddad's World War II penknife that he gave. Just a jackknife, isn't it? What does it say on there? George Wussenhome jackknife, that's what it is. Tip of the blade's broken off. This is a bit wobbly. Well, he gave it to me, when I was a teenager, and I used to use it as my scout camp knife, really. And I made a flashy lanyard for it, and I sort of used to have it over my shoulder and put this all in my pocket and everything. Obviously, didn't lose it. The scales are a bit wobbly. When I got this, I didn't actually. Well, I wasn't bothered by it really because it was knackered. It looked knackered, and so consequently, you can see that. It's been a nice knife though. I mean, I've used it a lot. It lives in the garage. It's on a shelf in the garage. It's my go-to knife. It's moderately sharp. That would definitely sharpen a pencil. The tip, this bit has been. I was going to cut myself there for a second. I've blunted that. The trouble is with this, when it's so near the end, I lift it up by this bit, and so it sometimes it's sharp and sometimes it's blunt. I made a cookser out of this, and this was like a little chisel, but I've taken that edge off it now. So anyway, yeah. So it will get shorter, this knife, I suppose, over years, but I'll be dead before that happens. Has cut me. I was changing a broom handle, and I used it as a screwdriver, and it snapped back on me and cut my finger. They do that. Now this knife here is obviously a Swiss Army knife. I bought it in 1975. It replaced this knife as my main go-to knife. I've carried it. This is been a fantastic knife to me. When I left school, I went to train as an architectural and industrial model maker, and the guy who owned the place, he had a Swiss wife, he had an Alfa Romeo sports car, he had a flashy watch, he had a Minox spy camera, and he had a knife like this dangling from a very flashy keychain into his pocket. So, I mean, I idolised this knife, and in 1973, when I could afford it, I bought one, and it's been a good knife. Its claim to fame is that it changed the accelerator cable on an old British sports car in Piccadilly early one morning, and I use it as a spanner. So if you use this as a spanner, you gotta do things with it. So it did the work. It was it's just a fantastic little knife, really. I gave it to my son. Tip of the knife blade broken off and been reshaped. I gave it to my son, and he, it's his knife, and he's loaned it to me for this little video. So, whoops, it's sharp actually. You never know with these knives whether they're sharp or not. I did sharpen that one up a while ago, so it is sharp. But he's been using it for God knows what. Well, that knife was replaced by this knife, and this is I bought this for my grandfather in. That was sharp. That cut me. I bought this for my grandfather. Yeah, I don't know when I bought it from. Probably in the early 90s. It's not as good quality as this. You can see that this one has got a sort of like an inlaid brass motif, and this one hasn't. It's a printed on one, and it's coming off. It's made by a different firm actually. It's a Swiss Army knife, but it's just made by. I was going to say it's made by Inox, but it's not. I don't know who it's made by actually. I'm not going to. I can't read it. It's in there somewhere. But he wanted it because he wanted the scissors. He wanted the nail file. He didn't want the different, the tweezers and the toothpick. He wanted it like this. I have modified this in little places like there to do wire stripping. Anyway, it's a. I was going to say it's an unremarkable knife, really. But I mean, the trouble is that as I've got older, what's happened is I'm using the nail scissors and the file. The scissors and the file. That's what gets used on this knife, I'll tell you. Anyway, there we go. It's a knife that's seen a little bit of action. Oh God, what's going on there? But it's it's not a fantastic knife, really. Well, no, it doesn't feel the same as this one. It doesn't feel the same, but it is. Makes me happy because it's my granddad's, and I inherited it off him. Obviously, when he pegged out in about 98 or something like that. The knife that makes all of these pale into insignificance, though, is this one. Now, this knife was given to me by my granddad, my father. My dad gave me this in probably in the very early 60s sometime. I've no idea when. It's an X-Acto knife, and it's got a Swan Morton scalpel blade. Perhaps I should do something with that. It's a. Well, what can I say about it? I mean, I've cut out thousands and thousands of wing ribs with this. It's been a good little knife. It has cut me, this knife, terribly actually. I was slicing up a piece of cable, and as I was pushing it down, the knife tip broke and it went straight in here. Cut me from about there to there. Which way around are we? There to there. And it was annoying. Actually, I have cut myself, but my skin has gone extremely thin, and which is why I've got all these little plasters on. I don't know if you can see my hands. They're absolutely, completely fucked, my hands. So, and they're just sort of just breaking up, I'm afraid. It's years of shit on them. Anyway, yeah, so it's been a pretty good little knife, this, and I've used it a lot. And if I'm beer can bushcraft. If I had to bushcraft with a beer can, I would definitely be using this knife. This is the knife that I would go to first, because you'd slice anything with that, I can assure you. Yeah, can you batten with it? I mean, people talk about battening stuff. You can definitely batten with these. That, you could just chop a fucking tree down with that one. But no, this one, no, you couldn't. I know, no, you can't. Yeah, right. But no, this knife here, I've done a lot with these knives, and I like these X-Acto knives very, very well. Hold on, I like the knife, but I like these blades very much. I don't like the handle for these Swan Morton knife blades, because they're, or It's a scalpel. It's not. They're not sterile. I wouldn't want to do anything sterile with it. But anyway, that they're the best blades really for this. I like this particular shape. You can grind all this down to make it a really fine point and do some very fine work with that. But anyway, it's good, excellent stuff. See you around.